What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Sister Girl on Films. And as you can tell by the title, I am here to give my thoughts and opinions on House Party 2023, which is a remake of the classic 1990 original that starred Kid and Play. So if you're interested in my thoughts on this very interesting remake and reimagining of a classic, then stay right there. We're going to get right into this review.
Time to hang out with my sister girl. Hey, sister girl on films. Hey, sister girl on films. Hey.
So House Party stars Jacob Lattimore, Tosin, I think I'm saying his name right. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm not. Tosin Cole. They play Damon and Kevin, who are best friends, who work full-time at a cleaning business, but then on the side, they are party promoters. And they're both kind of going through their own like little issues financially. Kevin, who was played by Jacob Lattimore, is just trying to save money. He's taking care of his daughter. He just wants to make sure he can provide for her. And Damon, he's on the verge of being kicked out of his aunt's house, so he's trying to get money to be able to live on his own. So while these guys are cleaning this really like nice mansion, they realize that they need to throw a really huge party to make as much money as they can. And so they're like, well, let's throw the party here at this mansion. Then come to find out the mansion belongs to LeBron James. So the whole movie is just around them planning this party, executing the party, and trying to do it without getting the cops called on them and without LeBron James finding out. So when I initially heard, like a year or two ago, that this movie was being made, I was already side-eyeing it. And that's because I am one of those people that is a super fan of the original House Party. I know it's primarily a lot of us millennials, us 80s babies, and definitely Gen X, 70s babies, because they were like teens when that came out. So House Party is near and dear to our hearts. So when I heard that it's being remade, I was like, child, we don't even need to touch this. Why is this movie being remade at all? The sequels were terrible enough. We don't need a remake. But LeBron James is an executive producer on this film, and the original writer and producer, whose name is escaping me at the time, he is an executive producer as well. So with them two putting their money behind it, this movie was going to get made regardless. So what I did like about this movie, okay, is that it employed a lot of up-and-coming black actors. That's what I did like about it. It employed a lot of young comedians, social media influencers, just people that you would be familiar with, on social media, that are really trying to get their name out there and get their career going. So I did like that about this movie. It gave a lot of people jobs. That was good. That's all I liked about it, is that it employed black actors. There we go. I just was not feeling this movie, y'all. I'm just gonna be honest. I really did give it a chance. The minute the movie started, I said, okay, sis, this is not gonna be what you think it is. Just look at it as if this movie has nothing to do with House Party. And even if I looked at this film as just its own separate thing, it was just, to me, it was all over the place. There was no character development, which is a comedy. I get it. But I feel like I just am over movies that don't develop characters, that put characters in these situations where us as an audience should at least feel sorry for them or should be rooting for them to succeed, but you haven't developed a character, so I don't give a shit what happens to them. I'm just over Hollywood doing this. I felt like the references to the original House Party were arbitrarily thrown in there. I feel like as the movie was going, they were reminded, oh yeah, this is supposed to be a remake of House Party. Well, let's throw this scene in there. Let's throw this scene in there. People will remember this. This is iconic. Let's throw a clip of the old movie in there. Like, I don't feel like there was any care or thought put into the fact that you are considering this a remake of such a classic black film. To me, this movie felt more like the Friday remake that they've been wanting to make. It gave me so much more tones of Friday than House Party. It reminded me of Friday. It reminded me of How High. It reminded me of Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. It reminded me of everything but House Party. And to me, I was just like, I'm just disconnected from what you're trying to do. And it didn't get past me that Tisha Campbell wasn't in this. There was no cameo of her. There was no cameo of AJ Johnson. The cameo that we did have a kid in play, I'm gonna talk about it in a spoiler rant after this non-spoiler review, was just why. I don't know. I just felt like, y'all, for me, the story was jumbled. The story was all over the place. It was erratic. It just kind of threw everything to the wall to make it stick. I feel like they promised these celebrities all these cameos, so they just had to throw them in and fit them in some way, shape, or form. And it just felt forced. Like, I got bored. Like, damn near, I wanted to walk out, but I couldn't because I knew I wanted to review it. It just didn't do it for me, y'all. And I'm sorry, you know, no, I'm not sorry. What the fuck am I talking about? It's my opinion. I'm not sorry. I just feel like it did a disservice. I feel like this movie should not have called itself House Party. It could have called itself anything else. But because, in my personal opinion, I feel like LeBron James is fulfilling his childhood fantasies to be in certain films. And because he has the money to do that now, and probably the connections, the different producers and directors and shit, they're putting him in shit like Space Jam. Didn't need it. Now he's doing a remake of House Party where he's not acting, he's just being LeBron James. He's LeBron James in these. And I get it, Space Jam, that's the whole thing. Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan. I get it. But I'm starting to see a trend here. So there's another remake that comes out and LeBron James is in it as just LeBron James. Child, then I'm gonna know. LeBron is just trying to fulfill his childhood wish to be in these movies because he loves them. And that's just what it is. So I'm not going to say don't go check it out because for whatever reason, black folks love to support these types of movies. Y'all don't want to support biographies and other movies and black dramas, but y'all want to support movies like this. So I guess if this is what y'all going to give y'all money to the studios for, then I guess this is what we're going to have to settle for. So if you are a fan of the original House Party, I would say don't go into it expecting an actual remake of House Party because you're just not getting that. And before you say, well, it wasn't for, I get it. It's not for my generation. This movie was not made for Gen X or millennials. It absolutely was not. This movie was made for Gen Z. This was supposed to be this generation's House Party movie. And I feel like it failed because how I felt watching House Party as a young person was I want to go to a house party. I want to have fun. I want to dance with my friends. I want to hang out. I want to do these things. This movie did not have the innocence that the original House Party had. I feel like that was missing from it. And I feel like having this party at LeBron James's house and committing these crimes and shit and all this stuff, I don't feel like this movie was made for young people to kind of feel like, damn, you know, this is fun. You know, this is kind of speaking to what is happening in the culture now. Yes, in terms of social media, wanting to be popular and all that. Yes, I get that. That's a big thing for this generation. Fine. But when the original House Party came out, house parties were a huge thing, definitely in the hip hop community and definitely in the black community. House parties were a thing. Like, I can name so many house parties that I went to when I was a teenager and even a preteen and had me a blast. So having a movie that spoke to that part of the culture was amazing. And I didn't get what part of the culture this spoke to other than social media and wanting, you know, I hate the word clout, but, you know, to be popular. Which that's not a cultural thing. Hell, that's just a world thing. So I don't know. I get it. It's for Gen Z. But I feel like even for Gen Z, it did a disservice to them because what they got, we didn't get. I'm sorry. Our version of House Party is far better than whatever this was. So that's just my opinion. So again, if you are a fan of the original House Party, if you are a Gen Xer, a millennial, go into this film knowing that it's just not House Party, okay? It's just not. You might enjoy it if you go into it not expecting to see some of the things that made you fall in love with House Party to begin with. But if you have no desire to go see this was not on your top of your list, I don't blame you. Don't go see it. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. And it's January. I kind of knew it was going to be not the best. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below respectfully. If you liked it, if you didn't like it. And as always, y'all, like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. And so now I'm going to go into a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen this, you can just be done with this video at this point, because I'm going to spoil some shit. But if you have seen this, or you don't plan to see it, or you're coming back, timestamps are always going to be below. Just skip to the spoiler review because I have some shit to get off my chest. Alright, y'all, so let's talk spoilers, okay? This is probably gonna feel more like a rant than a review, because I left out of that movie theater just silent, because I said, what the hell did I just watch? Now, when I went into the movie theater, there were only, I think, 6 of us in there. I went to like an afternoon showing, which was intentional because I didn't want a whole bunch of people. By the time the movie wasn't even halfway, it was probably a little over halfway over, 4 people had walked out. People walked out of the movie. Like one couple, like they audibly were like, and walked out. If that tells you anything about this damn movie. I wanted to walk out myself, but I didn't. Well, I just want to hit on some of the things that annoyed me so much in this movie. And the biggest thing that really pissed me off was the cameo of Kid and Play. First of all, the whole Illuminati storyline was like, what the fuck is this? And why is this even happening? Where is this even? Why is Kid Cudi such an integral part of this fucking movie? What is going on? And why are we at an Illuminati meeting? And why is this where Kid and Play are at? Like, this is the best y'all could do? And then I get it, they were at the Illuminati meeting, and so everybody was serious and deadpan and all that other shit, but they genuinely looked miserable. They didn't have any speaking lines, nothing. So I feel like either Kid and Play were just throwing a cute little coin to just make an appearance, but they didn't really want to have nothing to do with this movie. Like I said in the non-spoiler review, it's not lost on me that AJ Johnson and Tisha Campbell and Martin Lawrence had nothing to do with this. They weren't in it. Like, there are people who are still well alive who could have made cameos in this that would have connected it to the original. They weren't even in it. So to me, that makes me feel like they knew this was some bullshit and they didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Damon, the whole character of Damon, I was like, both of these characters were so far away from the original like personas and personalities of Kid and Play. Like, I get it, Kid was really kind of naive, and he was kind of the popular kid, but then kind of wasn't. It was just, but you rooted for him. You know, you wanted him to be able to get to the party. You didn't want him to get caught. You wanted him to get the girl. Like, we were seeing the whole party through Kid's eyes. And I feel like Damon was supposed to be the play in this, but he took it to a whole nother level to where it was like, I don't like this dude. If he gets caught by these gangbangers, that's fine. Like, I don't care, because you're not a really good person and I'm not really rooting for you. And other than you just wanting to be famous on social media and get enough money to move out of your aunt's house, there's nothing else there. So that part really bothered me. And then that goddamn dance scene. Now, the dance scene in the original house party is iconic. Iconic. Okay? The whole thing. Coming out the kitchen. It's a whole build-up. It's a whole thing. The dance scene in the original one made sense because in the late 80s, early 90s, well, all through the 80s and 90s, like, having dance battles at parties was a thing. And Kid and Play were best friends. Sherane and Sydney were best friends. So it would make sense that they would have choreographed routines, because that's what was done back then. And they were always around each other. So, of course, they would have choreographed routines and would have a dance battle at a party. But the way they did it in this movie pissed me off. First of all, where did Tinashe, where did she even come from? And how did her and, what was her name, Venus, have a choreographed routine? How? You just met her. How? What is happening? What are we doing? And then I get it. It's a movie. We have to suspend reality. Fine. But the idea that these two random dudes can just drive up to LeBron James's house. LeBron James, I would imagine LeBron James lives in a gated community I would imagine that you would have to get through a guard before you even get to the guard to get to his house. And I get it, he's an executive producer in it, so maybe he told them that that wasn't the case. But I find it hard to believe that not only are you two going to be able to get back access to this man's house after you don't have anything to do with the cleaning company because you don't have uniforms on enough, you're just driving up in a car. But then your homeboy, played by DC Youngfly, is just pulling up. And then enough people to have a party. Stop playing with me. Y'all... I felt like this movie was just playing in our face. This movie was obviously a cash grab. And then the fact that the Martin Lawrence cameo, like they just were arbitrarily just playing the movie House Party. I don't know if it was to get inspiration. Like, for what? Like, just because those Martin Lawrence probably didn't have nothing to do with it, so that was the only way you're going to get him in the movie, just to show, hey, see, look, y'all, this is House Party. We're watching House Party right now. See, we're meta. Stop it. Stop it. And then the reference to all these different movies, especially Belly. What was that? I get it. There's going to be people probably drunk and high that'll go see this movie and going to crack up. But what was that? Why would there be a Belly reference in a movie that is a remake of a movie that came out in 1990? Belly came out, in 98, 99? What does that have to do with House Party? Nothing. Nothing at all. Like, I cannot wrap my brain around why they did what they did with this movie. But then I also know that there will be enough people that will watch this and be like, oh, it was funny, I had a good time, that they gonna make their money back. And they don't give a shit. Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's all it was about. It really wasn't about paying homage to the original film, for real, for real. It was not that at all. Because if that was the case, then I felt like Kid and Play would have been more involved in the movie. And I mean, and there's so many different ways they could have played it. Kid and Play could have been their employers. Kid and Play could have been relatives of theirs. Hell, Kid and Sydney could have been the parents or the aunts or uncle of one of the kids. Like something to connect them to it, but they didn't do any of that. And then just the whole, them in a smokehouse and smoking. Lena Waithe is there, a fucking high koala. I said, what is this? What is this? Like, I instantly was thinking of How High and Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Like, those are the two movies that stuck out in my mind the most, that I felt like they were trying to recreate. And then when DC Young Fly came in, I was like, he is giving me Smokey. He's reminding me of Smokey. It was a discombobulated mess. I wanted to walk out. I really did. If this had came out back when video stores were still around, it would have been straight to DVD. Okay, straight to VHS. This wouldn't have been in nobody's theater. But it's January and studios just want to dump movies to try to get whatever amount of money they can. And I don't think they respect black audiences. So they're just going to be like, they're going to give us their money and we're going to be good. We're at least going to break even with this. So that was my rant, y'all. That was my rant. Those are the parts that really just pissed me off. And that fucking Illuminati scene. If you made it, if you're watching the spoiler part, let me know your thoughts. What did you think about the parts that, did you like it? I mean, be real. If you liked it, if you thought it was a good time, that's cool. You know, don't try to invalidate my feelings and say I'm thinking too much about it, because that's just gonna piss me off. Because I'm entitled to my feelings. But if you did like it and you saw it, let me know. I mean, it's not gonna change my mind about it, because I'm passionate about this shit. This was dumb as hell. But if you liked it, let me know what you liked about it and why. And thank you so much for hanging around for the spoilers. And I'm going to see y'all next time for something else. Thank y'all so much for y'all support. And I'm going to see y'all next time.
Hey, look, I talk my shit and keep it honest, keep it independent. I hear them hating, but that's only because they inconsistent. He said the weapon wouldn't prosper.